Hey everyone, the name is Kris Barocsi. Welcome to the third episode of my solo album recording journey. Today I want to show you three things about what's happening at the moment. This is all going to be about music production, music recording really. So the first thing is I want to show you how you prepare a song for a drummer to record over. The second thing is I want to introduce the drummer who's going to play 7 out of 9 songs. So it's safe to say that his taste, vibe, his tone is going to be a very much relevant factor on the album. And I'm super stoked to tell you all about him. And the third thing is probably the most exciting thing for us guitar players. It's going to be recording the guitar tone, like looking for the best way of recording in my situation for these songs. Obviously this is not like a generic rule or like it's not the best for everyone, but in my situation for these songs, I think I found the best way of recording guitar, and I want to show what that is going to look like, and also show you a little trick with my recording process with my rig that in case you're doing something similar, you should definitely try it for yourself. So number one, how do you prepare a song or a song project for the actual recordings, right? First step is going to be drums, then bass, then guitars and other instruments, and then vocals at the end. If you are doing something like me that you are writing most of the stuff, you're writing the songs, you take care of all of the creative process really, and then you ask friends or session players to record their instruments, for example, bass or drums or whatever, you definitely want to give them more than just a very basic scratch track. If they hear a proper demo of the song, they can imagine how the song works, what kind of dynamics are we talking about, how much velocity that song needs, how aggressive, chilled, dynamic, tight, loose that song should be. It's so important to give them the actual vibe of the song. So in that case, for these songs, I made demos for every single song, and those demos are on the production level of all my intro tracks in my YouTube videos. The only difference is that these have vocals and my YouTube guitar videos obviously don't. So for example, this is a project that I made for the drummer. This is my demo project of this song, and this includes MIDI drums. Easy Drummer is what I use all the time. It's a really handy little tool. With an own little mixer, it allows you to get really decent MIDI drums, or like programmed drums. This is Luna, by the way, the Universal Audio sort of workstation or audio recording program. And I just started using it when I got my Apollo X4 because it's free. Like if you have an Apollo, this is just something you can download and start using right away. And I tested it because I was intrigued and I absolutely adore it. So yeah, in case you're a UAD user, high recommendations. Luna is awesome. All right, so drums. I programmed MIDI drums for the drummer so that he already has my take on this song. The goal is to give the musician who will record and contribute on your album or song the idea of what's going on inside your head as the writer of the song. And yeah, I have the drums programmed here, and then of course all the demo recordings of all the instruments that are going to be in the song. So there's a bass track, there are guitar tracks, and then of course vocals. This is, I don't know, I can just show a little segment. Don't want to spoil too much, sorry. The album's coming up soon. Then I mixed down all of these tracks separately, all these instruments, I should say. So I can solo the drum track, the MIDI drums, select a region and this is super important, select a region that is reasonable for your mixdown. And I will make my mixdown from the very beginning of the project. Because if you start your mixdown somewhere in the middle of a bar, they cannot immediately place the recording that they have in their DAW to one of the grids. That is just such a little thing, but it helps so much. So stick to one of the bar ones, like where a bar begins, that's where your mixdown selection should be. And of course, you select the whole song, and then you can do your mixdown. As told, I make a mixdown of the tracks in solo, like of the instruments in solo, which means I choose the drums and make a mixdown with that selected length. And then with the same selected length, the same starting point and end point, I will do the same thing for the bass, for all the guitars, which means that I select all of the instruments that belong together, in this case guitars, and make a mixdown of that. And of course, the vocals as well. And then the musician who will get your files will get all of them in the same length. So the starting point of those mixdown demo files will be the same. The ending point will be the same. There's no misunderstanding where this part belongs to, you know, how does that fit into the song. And of course, they can mix their own scratch track volume. Like if they don't want a lot of vocals, for example, in there, they can pull it down because it's a separate track. And now that we were talking so much about recording drums and this, well, the foundation of recording and tracking an album, I want to introduce the drummer. The drummer is called Jan Hees, and he's an amazing dude, first of all, a really good friend, and also a really cool session drummer, plays in many projects, is a substitute for many other drummers, like the first man who gets the call if they need someone who is super reliable and a really nice guy to work with. And he's also the drummer for Fool's Garden. I'm sure you remember the Lemon Tree song. I wonder how, I wonder why. He's just an amazing human being. I love his taste, his attitude when it comes to playing drums for a song. He always puts the song in the foreground. Like his drum playing is never gonna be like, oh, look at me playing this fill, I'm so impressive. Which is, you know, kind of cool and whatever, but it's not my thing. I like musicians who try to give their best to make the song work the best way. And Jan is definitely that person. He's groovy. He has an awesome taste in drum tones and everything. And he also has a studio where he records drums on demand. Like I'll put his website, like the studio, here and also in the description below if you want to check out that link. If you need drums for your project, yeah, I am so stoked to work with him. And here's just a little snippet, a little teaser of what's to come. I mean, this is obviously like a banging part of a song. There are much more chilled parts and groovy parts and whatever. It's just a little snippet. I am so happy to work with Jan, and this album is gonna sound amazing already because of his knowledge and drum playing and, you know, the way he records drums, etc. And now, last but not least, let's talk about the guitar tone on the album. I guess you know my taste. If you've seen any of my videos here on YouTube, you know what kind of tones I gravitate towards. I usually use the aux box, the Universal Audio aux box, which is a cabinet and mic simulation. Instead of using a cabinet, like an actual guitar cabinet, and putting a mic in front of it. Not because I don't like the old school analog method. It's the opposite. I would do that if I had the chance to be that loud for that long. But unfortunately, because of obvious normal circumstances that most of us have, it's not cool to crank amps, to a point of like whatever 105, 110, 115 dBs in your home. It's just not cool. People don't appreciate it. I did a little A/B, that like actual cabinet with a mic versus, for example, the aux box, and the aux just sounds like an amp sounding its best at the best possible volume without having to deal with high volumes. It is just mind-blowing. So I will stick to that. That's gonna be the thing I'm using. And here's a little example. I tweaked my preset in the aux a little bit. I'm using the same mics as like what I used in the last couple of years on my YouTube channel, but I tweaked the EQ of the mics a little bit, the low cut, the balance between the dynamic and the ribbon mic, and all those things. So this is how I ended up leaving and saving the preset for the album and also for future YouTube videos. Right now I'm using obviously the tele going into the warm audio, ODD box going into the universal audio, Galaxy delay and reverb pedal, and then into the Rev Dynamis 740 head into the aux box. And this is what's happening inside the aux box. So this is going to be one of the presets that you will hear a lot on the channel. This is my favorite cabinet in the aux box that I use all the time. This is the 2x12 Alnico 50, which is a closed back cabinet, two modern American-made Alnico 50-watt speakers. And I'm using two mics here for close mics, the dynamic 421. We know which mic this is. And the EQ looks like this. I open it up a little bit. I have a little bit of a boost, just a couple of dBs, 1.4 dB, nothing radical, around 800, 900 hertz. And I have a low cut, which is definitely recommended, especially when we're talking about electric guitars. And then here's a ribbon 121. Guess which mic that is? And that's the main microphone, actually. That's what you're hearing. I boosted the mids quite a bit. This is 4.1 dB plus at 1.19 kilohertz. That's just a character thing. I kind of felt like it sounds a little too smooth, a little too, not scooped, but hollow. And I really want to make sure that the mid-range gets represented and it's a bit more, there's more pick attack, like this, this that thing. So that's why I boosted this, and there's a low cut, there's a high cut to get rid of the sizzliness and get rid of the crazy low end of a ribbon mic, which they have. And also here's a room mic, which are two ribbons, the 121 and the other one is the ribbon 84. Yeah, so that's also in the mix, not too loud, but it's there to make it sound a little rounder and more real, less super direct. In the master section, where you have four things that you can do, there's an EQ, a compressor, a delay, and a reverb. I have a very subtle presence boost again. Then this is important, and this is awesome. The 1176. I have it at a really subtle setting. The attack is pretty fast, the release is in the middle, and the input output, which is basically the amount of compression really, that is set in a way that it doesn't really compress a lot. The needle barely moves. It really is just for the coloration. The needle doesn't move at all. There's no compression happening. It's just the coloration of the 1176 preamp and everything, all the components that are in there. And then there's some plate reverb here. Well, this is not the preset that I will use for the most part, because when I'm recording, I don't necessarily want to have reverb on the guitar track. So, and this is the little trick that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I will use this preset on the aux. And check out how the mics are panned, which is left, which is right. Both close mics, the ribbon and the dynamic 421, are fully panned to the left, and the room mics, well, it's just one, it's a mono room mic, a condenser 67, which is, you know, this kind of mic, that is panned 100% to the right. Now, that kind of sounds weird if you just hear that hard panned. And this obviously sounds weird, having the closed mics on one side and the room mic on the other. This is not gonna be that hardly panned, ever. This is just the way I can record one guitar playing and two mic tones. The closed mic, mixture of two mics, and the room mic. Now, these will end up on two different tracks. So when we're talking about the Luna project, I have guitar L, guitar left, that would be the closed mic, and the L room is gonna be the room mic. And this way I can decide whilst mixing how much room mic I want to have in the guitar tone, in the overall guitar tone. And that is just amazing. That's really cool about the aux, that it has the two TRS outputs. That's something that I will definitely use all over the album. Let me know what you want to know, what you don't understand about all of this, and obviously stay tuned for more. I'll be showing some stuff about the bass recording, which is gonna be cool. I have 1, 2, 3, well, including myself, 4 bass players playing on the album. So that's gonna be really cool, and I think you'll be excited about a couple of those names. And then obviously I want to show some of the actual guitar tracking, vocal tracking, which are, well, the last pieces of the puzzle. All right, you guys take it easy. Thanks so much for watching. I'll meet you down there in the comments. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions down there, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.